of the Liberals who spoke today, starting with Treasury Board President Anita Anand, and also two Ontario Liberal MPs, two Liberal MPs from Ontario, Helena Jaczyk and Francis Joanne.
Chrystia Freeland is a good friend, someone I work with very, very closely as president of the Treasury Board and Minister of Transport.
Hi.
This news has hit me really hard, and I'll reserve further comment until I have time.
This is a test of a possible streaming setup. You're the camera. That's the fucking CBC. This is me. This is Pookie. You can't see him, but he's there. And I don't know if that chat's gonna... No, I'm not gonna bother with that. I'm just gonna close that so that let's see, how can I make this work so that you can see Pookie. Pookie is my co-pilot. Alright, I'm going to play a round or two of Fortnite, depending how it goes. Oh, and I'm watching Dorf. The Power and Politics plays
firing a
2 to
Minister
4
of
my
Finance
time.
who has served you extremely well is not what I would call a trustworthy move.
And cover Canadian politics, yada yada yada.
Yes.
And I've been a great defender, but I just don't see how we move forward without having a future minister resign. Today was supposed to be a presentation of a plan, and now we're talking about a finance minister who has resigned. I think he needs to go, yeah.
I also don't know if CBC is going to like... see? See? This is what I haven't figured out, is how to... Well... Whatever. So, yeah, I'm... What is going on there? This is a failed situation. Oh, so they're just frozen. That's cool. I'm just gonna go update my
and ask for the dissolution of the parliament.
Now, of course, it's not new for either Blanchet or Poilievre to say that Prime Minister Trudeau should step down. But it is the NDP that holds the balance of power, of course, Christine, and so that's really the party that will decide the PM's future. But we did hear today from Peter Julian of the NDP caucus that the NDP has really lost patience. We sort of heard the NDP hint at that before and then appear to back down, but we heard what perhaps sounded like a more specific threat today from Peter Julian that if Justin Trudeau is still there after the Christmas break, that he may very well face a vote of no confidence from the one party that's keeping him in power. Let's listen to Peter Julian.
Beginning of March,
Peter Julian used to be my
Mr.
MP.
Trudeau has not stepped down, hasn't heeded that call from his own caucus, from his own cabinet, from all the opposition parties, then yes, so of course that would mean if we're coming up to a straight-up non-confidence motion at the end of February, early March, that's one of the tools that we have.
He's one of the good ones.
This idea that the Liberals can play out a drama over the course of the next few months, simply not on. And the NDP, and I think Jagmeet Singh was very clear about that.
So Parliament's last day this year is tomorrow. And after that, of course, everybody goes home for Christmas and New Year's. They come back on January 27th.
Oh, that's going to be
not too long
I've been
that,
telling people, be ready sometime in the next couple of weeks for one of those weeks or months happen.
In the normal order of parliamentary business. So what it really looks
China
like
and Russia might make their last plays before
to do over these
Trump comes in,
we'll
or
really
to
have
harness the chaos of Trump coming in
before Parliament comes back next year.
A stunning day. Appreciate you taking us through it all. Thanks for this, Evan.
Can I? That's Christine. No, there's no muting. Oh, is there?
Well, my next guest is echoing the call for the Prime Minister to step down. Selina Cesar-Chavannes was a Liberal MP from 2015 to 2019 before resigning as a member of the Liberal caucus and sitting as an independent. Tonight she joins us from Whitby, Ontario.
Oh, I can't control the
Selina,
volume. At least that's nice.
Time,
yeah, so I don't know if CBC is gonna
in Canadian politics. First off, what's
access stream once it's running, but that's part of what this test is for. I like Sila because she
right thing for Minister Freeland to do.
Should have a sword.
She is a general in
so
the
Freeland
to be
fucking
asked to
torched Trudeau
back or to no longer be the deputy
Oh, what's
Prime
up,
Minister,
fatty?
Minister of Finance. I feel like history
Are you complaining for your 5 o'clock food?
Again,
Well, bad news, it's not 5 o'clock.
In 2019,
You can come here. You can tumble up here if you want. Ted Chabinsky.
Because of the fact that we have a new U.S.
Tubble by Jean.
coming in less than a month, that is proposing tariffs of 25%, that it's going to affect the most vulnerable Canadians at this point. And I think that we need stability. We needed some kind of self-regulation on behalf of the Prime Minister to really think this through before putting Canadians in further jeopardy. This is going to have ripple effects of epic proportions going forward.
Come here, Chub Chub.
It certainly is a tense time, and Freeland claims Trudeau told her on Friday he no longer
I'm not coming there.
wanted her to be finance minister. What message do you feel that was sending?
All right,
there's a number of messages that we're sending. The first one, I think the most important one for the listeners and for Canadians, is that Chrystia Freeland was not saying to the Prime Minister that she didn't feel like something was okay. She was challenging a fiscal move, an economic move that in the long term did not
This is not the kind of thing I will
well
normally be watching.
I'm
only watching Power and Politics with David Cockring.
The cuts that we're seeing happening. Immediate term, maybe it'll help a few, but in the long term, it doesn't. Canadians are struggling right now, struggling with groceries, they're struggling through the holidays, they're struggling with housing, they're struggling
looks like
with
a P90.
a whole number of things that this particular move was not going to help in the long term. The second message that it sends is that when someone challenges you, and I feel this intimately, when someone challenges you as a leader in the center of a democracy, that it's so easy to just throw that person under the bus. If it is a woman, and I don't want to make this gendered, but you have to.
But I'm gonna.
Look at the body count. The body count of women. Jody, Jane, myself, Leona, Miriam Monsef, Ava Nassef, Chrystia Freeland. The body count is racking up. And I hate to sound emotional on this, but when you are challenging a leader of a G7 country and they respond with just throwing you under the bus, that is not just Chrystia Freeland that's going under the bus. That is a lot of Canadians who are going to be affected by what she was trying to get the Prime Minister to consider.
I can hear the emotion in your voice and that this is striking a very deep chord with you. I also understand that you reached out to Chrystia Freeland today. What did you say to her?
I just wanted her to know that I was proud of her. I was proud of her in the decision, and I wanted her to know that I was there for her. I think that this moment is it's like deja vu. It's like feeling this moment again. It's feeling that exact same feeling of saying,
well, it's not like
you're doing something
dumped
that is
her.
wrong.
Like,
you're doing something that Canadians deserve better. And when we challenge, when you consider yourself a feminist government, when you consider yourself a feminist who believes diversity is our strength, and as soon as you challenge, because you have the intellectual capacity the fortitude and the courage to challenge someone
way back. There we go.
Thank you.
Okay, that is the Bloc leader Yves-François Blanchet stating plainly what he thinks needs to happen, that Justin Trudeau's government
not
is
live, because I was not enjoying the person who's live.
That there should be an election, and that election should be fought on the issue of who can
I used to watch Power and Politics all the time, and I want to get more involved in Canadian politics because we're approaching the apocalypse in Canada, conservative majority under fucking Poilievre.
To hear more from anyone,
and that
frankly.
looks like catastrophe.
As they head to question period, I think we can pop up. I think that's a live shot of people.
Just doom watching, really, just waiting for the inevitable horrors.
Again,
yeah.
Again, not stopping Rosie. So, like, the lack of clarity and direction and specificity.
Defense, no defense, no saying that we're with the leader, we're with our prime minister.
Oh yeah, the cabinet members.
These guys are just
I need
by
ammo.
saying nothing.
Ammo is what I need. I got
Silence
4 P90s. They're all in about.
I've been talking to, texting with MPs. You know, what are they telling you?
You be real careful.
We've confirmed now from a
car
bunch of people
that
the Ontario caucus is going to meet at 5 o'clock today. I mean, when you lose someone like Chrystia Freeland from the cabinet portfolio, that makes sense that they would get together. Anthony Housefather has made a call publicly that he has written Brenda Shanahan, the chair of the Liberal caucus, demanding a national caucus meeting within the next 24 hours. So clearly the caucus has something they're going to want to say. But Fred, like, we don't know if we're going to hear from the Prime Minister. He's supposed
My
to
plan is to
Club, which is the
pick a
big
game
club
to play through entirely with these watches.
Can't wait until then, and he's supposed to have the caucus.
Like to play for 2 hours a day watching Power and Politics.
There's nothing filling this
and
void.
finish.
Hopefully
play
those
all the way
parties
through
don't
like
come
that.
before his plans on how to govern the country.
Really, I just need bullets right now.
Look,
can I get some bullets,
it's
please?
Becoming clearer and clearer. We see Poilievre said it.
Find a house.
Said it. We need an election right now. I will be getting more and more worried that he's going to resign, and then we're thrown into months and months of Liberal leadership. We're heading off a cliff here with tariff wars coming in a month, and we're not at all prepared. It's incredibly risky the longer this plays out. I think we need an election now. He has a platform. He has the fall economics.
It's all the people who think they're going to make out good think we need an election right now.
He has a big fundraiser tonight. He can get some monies in the
surprise.
I really hope that what we get out of this is an election call. I'd be worried if he resigns.
Well, that platform has in it what Chrystia Freeland has referred to as costly political gimmicks. So, Jordan, it's tough to run on that, isn't it? You know?
Yes, it's very tough to run that. And
Interesting.
I think it's worth underlining, and this goes a little bit to what Rosie was talking about earlier. This is a trap entirely of their own making. They are caught in something that they built. They constructed this situation.
Oh, I gotta go.
Top to bottom. It's not something that has been imposed on them through external forces. And arguably, you could say that Trump's election and the tariff threat provided a new galvanizing force for the government. It was a reason for them to pull people together, to lead the premiers, to take a new tack. And this has really squandered all of that away. And for something that apparently it seems that within the PMO there was no concerted issues management approach to a level that I think is really almost unthinkable, that you would make way or try to set up a cabinet shuffle in this manner without reflecting on the consequences. And you have to ask, looking from the outside,
maybe he did and he just miscalculated.
Is Mark Carney worth it? Is he worth what this has really wrought for this
government? Maybe he is.
And I think the answer is electorally, we don't know. He's totally untested in that.
Falcon
so
to his neoliberal Captain America.
That I think are coming back to haunt them in a huge way right now.
I mean, I also think, though, that the shuffle was not just about Mark Carney. And by the way, we still don't know whether he was in or out. It was another attempt to try to refresh the government, to try to address the threat of Donald Trump, to try and get some traction in the polls with putting different people in different jobs. I mean, I'm sure that's kind of what you've heard too. So whether Carney was there or not, it was going to happen.
And Carney, frankly, looked a little bit like Lucy from Peanuts with the football for a long time. So I'm not sure that he was
maybe still. We don't know.
Maybe still, right? And so that might not have been the pivot point.
Bullets.
David, I've said this to you before. I had heard from people, at the center, where they kind of had wished they had asked Freeland to be Deputy Prime Minister or Finance Minister at the last shuffle. They didn't want her to have both. And you alluded to this. I said this on Friday. She has some communications issues. Then you deal with those instead of, I think Mark Carney has nothing to do with all the repeated leaks that have been going on for a long time, which was also the MO that they used with Bill Morneau. And again, there was things that Bill Morneau did that sometimes maybe wonder how much he understood politics.
Those are like
his boss, then you sit down and talk about him. And then in terms of the trade thing, Fred, you've been saying for a couple of weeks now that they should call an election. I've seen, I think, Andrew Coyne. To me, there was some, questioning about whether or not the Conservatives were worried that as Trump came in, it would make Mr. Poilievre look worse and worse. And the Prime Minister did actually initially do some really good things. He got on a plane, he got to Mar-a-Lago, he grabbed the issue. And then it's the caucus management issue that is their Achilles.
That makes me mad.
It comes back to that. So at a time when they were doing really well and talking about Trump and tariffs, in their own backyard, there's a
I was
fire
doing
going
well.
on and no one's dealing with it.
I like those P90s though. 100 bullets in a clip, in a magazine. I got like 4 of those. I can just like send 400 fucking bullets downrange. That's pretty cool.
Other than that moment,
Yeah, I guess my death was kind of unexpected here.
Cameras and into the cabinet room. He's been in that room now since just after 9 a.m. And it's possible that he will want to
do one more. That was not
Canadians inside the House of Commons.
That was not an honorable death.
Perhaps later, but let's just keep our eyes on the House as much as we can, as well as those doors, the cabinet doors, to see whether he emerges there. There's another way for him, I think, to get into the House too. But
I gotta find something better to do with this space.
So we are waiting to hear more from.
Could I cut off some of the game?
Something that is going to happen in the next number of hours. We do want to point to.
Hey, people who aren't watching, I'd love your advice on
right now, which is part of also what.
Whether you think I should crop the game screen,
so today,
or what I should fill with the
resigned as deputy
space.
prime minister, and finance minister, causing this political crisis we are in today. Also today. Largely upstaged by Chrystia Freeland. The Minister of Housing, Sean Fraser, announced he will not be running
I got a moment.
For re-election. And
I want to see how this looks.
Cabinet at the next
in actual
the next shuffle. Randy Boissonneau resigned from cabinet last month amidst a scandal and questions about his claims of indigeneity and his
and how far behind
a private business and allegations there had been some fraudulent activity there. Jeanette Petitpas-Taylor took on the employment minister role, as well as her other role, but that's temporary. The same goes for Pablo Rodriguez. He resigned from cabinet in September to run to be Quebec Liberal leader. And Anita Anand temporarily took over his portfolio as well as Treasury Board. So she is Transport Minister and Treasury Board. And we also had, of course, those 4 ministers that announced earlier this fall that they were not running
I know
again.
I'm playing.
Philomena Tassi, Marie-Claude Bibeau, Carla Qualtrough, and Dan Vandal. All 4 said, I'm not running again, so shuffle me out of cabinet when that makes sense.
Okay,
so
it's all shown. It's all in there.
8 cabinet positions
cool.
up for grabs. Here's Jagmeet Singh. Let's listen in live.
Right now, Canadians
okay. Let's do it.
Everywhere I go, people cannot find a home they can afford. They can't buy their groceries. On top of that, we have Trump threatening tariffs at 25%, which put hundreds and thousands of Canadian jobs at risk. And instead of focusing on these issues, Justin Trudeau and the Liberals are focused on themselves. They're fighting themselves instead of fighting the Canadians.
I like Jagmeet Singh as a guy,
Justin Trudeau to resign.
but
he has to go.
We need somebody mean. Why are you? Oh, fucking Twitch sucks ass so hard.
At this time, when people are having major problems in their own lives,
We need somebody who can match
It is impossible
Poilievre's
to find affordable housing.
piece of shit energy
They
from a good
cannot buy
perspective.
groceries.
Draft
At a time
Nathan
like
Cullen.
this,
It's too late.
everything
We're already
that is
doomed.
happening in people's lives.
No matter what we do,
In addition to that, we are facing
we're
the threat of Donald
we're
Trump
screaming with
imposing
no
tariffs
brakes
that
towards
would imperil
a Poilievre
thousands,
conservative
hundreds of
majority,
thousands of
and it's
jobs
gonna be
in
the end of the
Canada.
fucking world. And
We have a government under Justin
that's just all there is
Trudeau
to it.
that is so worried about internal wrangling rather
But it doesn't
than
mean we
what
can't
people
try
are
to
facing
like
in their own lives. Because of that, I'm asking
do
that
a
Justin
faint
Trudeau
hope
resign
attempt to
because he cannot continue.
prevent-
It is quite clear that he's not addressing the important issues impacting Canadians.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you building?
All tools, all options are on the table. People are hurting, people are struggling, and so all options are on the table.
Just to clarify, you're calling for him to resign, but you are not willing to vote.
140. How many bullets can those?
How do those
Jesus.
two things connect?
All options are on the table. All options.
What does this mean for your support with the Liberals, though? How can you say he needs to resign, but then you're not telling us what you're going to do for non-confidence?
I'm telling you that all options are on the table.
Fez, will you support the Fez? And also, are you willing to continue to support the Liberals if there is a different leader aside from Trudeau?
Right now, that's not in front of us. There's no votes in front of us, but we will take each vote. And right now, literally, everything's on the table.
Fuck you. Uh-oh. Fuck! That was not an honorable death. More honorable than the last one,
Depends on the
sure, but
votes. And so I want to make it very clear. Justin Trudeau has to go. He has to resign. And because of that, all options are on the table. And we'll look at each vote and we'll make a decision. But now all options are on the table. Paul Wells. Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead, Paul.
Sir, that
go ahead,
room
Paul.
behind you is a parliament. The government continues to govern as long as MPs continue to have confidence in the government. You have no say over who the leader of the Liberal Party is. Will you support the government, or are you withdrawing your support from the government?
With respect to that, I've said that all options are on the table. That means everything is possible. But what is clear, given what we have seen, Justin Trudeau and a Liberal government that are focused on themselves, they are infighting at a time when people cannot even do their groceries. They can't even find homes that are affordable. And we've got the threat of Donald Trump and 25% tariffs that mean hundreds of thousands of jobs are at risk. Because of that, I'm saying very clearly that Justin Trudeau has to resign. All options on the table. Thank you very much. Merci. Thank you.
Okay, that is NDP leader Jagmeet Singh reacting to the news in an increasingly untenable political position for Singh, I would argue, suggesting that Justin Trudeau must resign. Not saying, though, that he no longer has confidence in the government, saying only that all options are on the table. I'm not sure how those two things coincide
Honorable death.
Or reconcile
That's what we're going for.
together. David, you want to weigh in
God
on that?
damn it, fucking Twitch.
That he doesn't have
what are you doing?
That's what it sounds like.
Well, I mean, like, you know, this is
How many times do I have to turn you off? Okay. And go.
Since he tore up the supply and confidence agreement, he's going to take it to the end of this parliament. It seems.
Angle for a high peak.
Saying all options are on the table is kind of a
right behind
slight
Sida.
adjustment in the position he's had, but not saying he's willing to vote non-confidence.
Got it.
Because I go back to what we were talking about earlier. I don't know if the political
minimum hang time. That's what we're going
better
for.
Shape right now, really. You know, the polls will tell you it's a Pierre Poilievre supermajority with a Bloc Québécois opposition. It's the most likely outcome. Most probable
because we're in a conservative fucking.
That's not in Jagmeet Singh's benefit any more than it is in Justin Trudeau.
No, but if you have a flailing Liberal government or a leaderless Liberal party, you would think that the NDP.
It's the end of the world.
They might, but there was opportunity.
It's a right-wing populist era across the world. It's the 30s all over again. 30s are back, baby.
Never spent in any election in 2021 and held the
30s are back. Can't wait for the 40s.
I'm not sure circumstances have improved necessarily for them. They are largely a British Columbia-based caucus right now. And as we saw in the last presidential election out there, that place took a hard swing in the conservative direction in a way that put David Evy's government on life support. I don't know what that portends for the Burnaby members, that are in the leadership of that party right now, but it's probably not a comforting
What's that about Burnaby?
Data set for them.
Okay, we are standing by to bring you inside the House of Commons for question period. Unclear at this time whether the Prime Minister will be there. We haven't seen him since this morning when he went into Cabinet and had to deal with this devastating blow to the government and to his own political future, perhaps to his own leadership. Joining us now is David McLaughlin,
Shut up, Kat.
Staff to Prime Minister Brian Mulroney. Nice to see you.
Shut up.
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen next here, David?
Well, I'm always surprised that actually prime ministers and ministers are surprised that they come to a point of resignation. I mean, how could a prime minister actually think that by trash talking their Minister of Finance publicly, by challenging their Minister of Finance internally on policy, could not lead to a situation where the finance minister might think, wait a minute, this place isn't really the right spot for me and I'm not that comfortable.
I just need
and how
bullets
could a Minister of
and
Finance
bullets
think
and
that
bullets
with all this
for this
going
gun.
on that somehow I could actually stand up and present a fall economic statement and then maybe leave a couple of days later? The whole thing is unprecedented.
I'm going to put you on pause if I can and go inside the House of Commons. Here's Pierre Poilievre.
Le contrôle, mais il s'accroche au pouvoir.
Oh, this
On
motherfucker.
sait qu'il avait perdu le contrôle des frontières, de l'immigration, des dépenses, de l'inflation, de la coût de logement.
Of the cost of housing. But now
Oh yeah, I'm sure you're gonna be a real fucking champion of housing crisis.
the Vice Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance has stepped down, and she stepped down hours.
Yes, let's vote for the guy who's for all the things that make it worse.
With an enormous deficit. When will we have an election?
Yeah, here,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So gross.
Our government is looking forward to presenting the economic statement this afternoon.
Right, where is
I would
everybody?
like to take this opportunity to thank
See, shooty.
the member for University Rosedale for everything that she has done for this country and everything that she will continue to do for this country. Her accomplishments make quite a long list, and her place in history is assured, and we are very proud of everything that she has done for this government.
The Prime Minister has lost control, yet he clings to power. He's lost control of immigration, lost control of the borders, lost control of spending, deficits, inflation, housing costs. In fact, his former, apparently, finance minister was trying to get spending under control by capping the deficit at an already crazy $40 billion. But he took carbon tax Carney's advice, pushed her beyond that guardrail, and was trying to throw her off the cliff. She's now resigned minutes before presenting her fall economic update. This cannot go on. When will we have a carbon tax elected?
Yes, let's do away with the one thing that was ever done to do anything about the thing that's fucking everything up.
Our government looks forward to presenting the fall economic statement later this afternoon.
That won't even do it.
Like to take this opportunity to
That most people were benefiting from. Most actual people, not the businesses he represents, but people, yes, benefited from the carbon tax.
For this country. She has played an integral role in this government.
Just not, doing anything to abate the impending apocalypse. We're cool with that. We don't mind that. That's cool. We're apocalypse cool around here. Apocalypse cool.
Contributed to this government and to Canada. Thank you.
I have a question for the finance minister. Who are you?
The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, at a time when Canadians are struggling, we are happy to bring forward measures that are going to assist them. Things like the GST tax cut that took place starting this past Saturday, going until February 15th. And while the Conservative leader and the members of his caucus stay focused on us, we're going to stay focused on helping.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
C'était une question sérieuse, Monsieur le Président. Qui est en effet
Who is the finance minister? After the finance minister's resignation this morning,
such a slimy piece of shit.
The minister became Minister of Finance, and congratulations. But he immediately quit. After him, in the line of precedence, it was the two Randys. Well, they don't want it. So now we don't have a finance minister just a couple of minutes before the fall economic statement will be presented. So where's the minister?
Don't get me wrong, I'm certainly not pro-Trudeau, but I'm more than anything anti that motherfucker.
The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I said, our government is looking forward to presenting the fall economic statement later this afternoon. There are important measures in that update, measures that are important for Canadians. It's time for the leader of the Conservatives to recognize that while he's focused on us, we are focused on Canadians.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, just to underline the chaos we're faced with here, the finance minister resigned the day she was to present the fall budget, which was going to contain a massive deficit overrun. The job then went automatically to the industry minister, who immediately resigned, like on the spot, which then went down the line, and the next person in order was the famous two
That was at least an honorable death.
And they're not available to do the job either. We're now less than 2 hours away from the fall economic update. Why won't the Prime Minister have the courage to come in here, present it himself, and put it for a confidence vote tonight?
like to remind all members, as I did during statements today, for members to be careful not to refer to other sitting members by their names, but to use their titles or to use their writing names. The Honourable Leader of the Government in the House of Commons.